In today's video, we'll be discussing 10 key tricks to starting your manga this year. It's time to get started and turn your manga into a masterpiece. So let's discuss the 10 key tricks to starting your manga this year. First of all, what is manga? The term manga refers to a style of Japanese comic book. Usually a manga will contain around 200 pages per volume, and it will be serialized in anthology magazines before being compiled in book format. Original English manga is becoming more and more popular, and with more opportunities now than ever before, there's no better time than today to start creating your manga. In this video, we will discuss how you can begin your manga this year. My first tip is understand your theme. Every book has a style and theme, and finding your theme can help your book to appear more consistent. A theme is an underlying message that is presented throughout the book. For example, if the theme was having hope, then the characters may be faced with various difficult moments throughout the story and find ways to have hope and overcome those difficult moments. Finding a theme can help you to make your book more consistent and also help it to connect more with the audience. If the audience can relate more to the underlying themes that you're presenting, it will mean that they'll be able to connect better with the story you're telling. Next, I recommend you develop your characters first. Your characters are at the core of your story, and understanding them first can help you to create your manga more effectively. I recommend understanding your character's personality, traits, likes, dislikes, their flaws, and their backstory. But not only this, I also recommend sketching some designs of what you want this character to look like so you have a better idea of what they will look like before you begin creating your manga. Your characters and their designs are extremely important when creating manga or other visual mediums like comics or graphic novels because your characters and their designs will be at the core of the storytelling. I recommend creating a few different designs of your characters, maybe their everyday outfits and other outfits that they may wear over the course of the story, so you have a better idea of something you can refer to as you are creating it. This reference can also help you to better understand how that character may act throughout the book and the choices they may make. So it is really important to write down a plan of how you want your character to be before you begin creating your book. Next, I recommend you write the major elements of the plot. Understand the main parts of the plot and storyline, and understand the main events that will need to happen throughout your story. Whether you're planning this for the entire book or just per volume, understanding what you want to happen will help you to build that book in a more effective way. Once you have a good idea of the major scenes and the situations that need to happen, you can then go back and fill in the gaps with smaller scenes that need to happen between them. Writing the major scenes first will help you to get a better idea of what is going to happen throughout your story and what each scene needs to lead through. Once you have the major scenes written down, it can be much easier to understand what scenes need to happen before them in order to lead up to those more important moments. Create storyboards and read through first before finalizing the pages. Your storyboards can help you get a better understanding of how your book would look once it is completed. When creating a manga, it's important to read your storyboards first to finalize the pages before moving forward. When creating a manga, comic, or graphic novel, your storyboards will be one of the most important parts. And I honestly recommend writing a basic script first, creating your storyboards, and then being able to read through your volume to see what is going to happen in the book and to see if you like those pages before you go and finalize them. I know that when it came to creating my own graphic novel, Having Faith, which is very manga inspired, I didn't do this all the time, and there were certain scenes that I read near the end and I was like, these scenes don't make sense anymore. So this is why I recommend storyboarding first before finalizing, because it may result in you backtracking later on if you do not plan out your pages properly. So make sure that you plan out your pages properly before you go ahead and finalize them, because you never know when the scene might change and you never know where a scene might need to go, and so having those storyboards and being able to read it will mean that you'll be better prepared for what needs to happen in your story. Understand the most important part. Every book has a major point, usually closer to the end of the book, where all of the other events in the book have been leading to. In the Kisho Tenketsu style, this would be the twist or the 10. Try analyzing other manga and find the most important elements of those books, the 10 part of those books. Every moment has a Every book has a moment like this, and finding it in your book can help you to better understand where all of the events in your story need to lead to. Know where each volume is leading. To ensure that you do not get stuck later on or fall into any plot holes, understand what needs to be in each volume. Make a note or one-sentence summary on what will happen in each volume. Please keep in mind that if this is your very first time creating a manga, you may wish to try creating a one-shot manga first, which is about 30 pages, before going into creating a series or multiple volumes. Find an art style and remain consistent. Practice your art style before creating so that each page you create will look consistent. If you're working with an artist, speak to various artists first so you can find one that would suit the story you're telling. It might be a good idea to create a practice page first to see if you would work well together. I believe the art style is one of the most important elements of creating a manga, comic, or graphic novel because your art style will be at the core of the storytelling. You'll be telling that story through your artwork, so finding an art style and remaining consistent with it is a good way to help your book stand out among other manga. Practice drawing various page layouts before choosing the one you like the most. When drawing your pages, practice drawing various layouts before deciding on the final one. There are maybe other layouts that present the scene better, and trying different layouts can first ensure that you find the best version that will suit the page and the story that you want to tell. So during the storyboarding process, take some time to sketch out different layouts of the page before deciding on your favorite version of the page. You may try moving around the various panels, changing the positioning of the characters or the speech bubbles, or changing up other elements of the page. And trying this out with a single page can help you to learn more about the different layouts that you could choose for various pages in your book, and it can also help you to learn how to storyboard better. Let your characters tell the story. Understand your characters and consider what decisions they would make during various moments throughout your book. Knowing your characters and their choices can help your manga to feel more believable. As I mentioned before, your characters are at the core of your story. They are the ones who are presenting that story and telling that story to your audience. Therefore, it's really important to understand those characters and all aspects of their personality. But once you come to understand your characters, there may be various moments in your book where you think about how your characters would make a certain choice, and sometimes those choices may differ from what you had originally intended. But in those moments, it is important to consider what your character would do in those situations and follow those moments, because that can help your book to feel more authentic and natural when you are following the natural decisions that your characters would take during various situations. Know what will happen at the end of each book. If you're planning on creating a series of a certain number of books, consider what will happen in each book before you create it. Knowing what will happen can help you to lead towards it more effectively. And just as a bonus tip, know the format you will release your book in. Whether you self-publish, traditionally publish, or post your book online, the formats can vary, and knowing what you intend to do at the beginning can help you to plan it out more effectively. Many manga competitions or certain publishers will have various submission rules for creating your book, so it's really important to know these up front before you create it so you don't have to do any resizing or any changes later on. If you plan to publish it yourself, then your book will need to be a certain size, and choosing the size at the beginning can help you to avoid resizing it later on. When I was creating my book, Having Faith, there were various things that I learned later on that I wish I knew at the beginning, especially when it came to the page sizes and the paneling. One of the things that I didn't realize is that the pages that I created at the beginning were not resized correctly for manga pages, which are 5 inches by 7.5 inches. So I had to go through for all 500 pages and resize every single page to make sure that it would fit. And that was quite a tedious process, if you can imagine. But another thing that I should mention here, which I did not mention originally, is that if you are planning to print it in a physical book form, you will actually need to make sure that you have more room around the margins of the page, because during the printing process, the pages will get stuck together, which will mean that you'll have less room during the middle parts of the page. Right here in the middle, you will lose some space. So as you are formatting your book, you will have to ensure that there is a white bar on each side of these pages, and you'll also have to make sure that there is space along the edge as well, because right here it will get cut off during the printing process. So that is something I learned and something I'll be able to understand during future books that I create. But when you're creating your manga, I do recommend ensuring that you understand the page size and also keep in mind the margins as well during the printing process, because you don't want to lose any of your artwork during that printing process. So thank you so much for watching my video today, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know how you plan on starting your manga this year. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I'm sure others would love to hear your thoughts also. Feel free to chat with me on any of my social media at midnightxcross, because I always enjoy hearing from you. Again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!